live. I'm Ronnie Harris of the Limitless Channel, and I'm joined by Jason Laufenberg of Awake Souls. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well tonight. It's been a busy week, but I'm excited to be together with everyone. I think we have some fun stuff to share and stuff hot off the press. So, all
True.
right.
Yeah. True. It's
How are you
interesting.
doing, brother?
I'm all right. It's been super humid here. It's like Canada weather, and then just add like 15 degrees or whatever on top of the heat index or whatever. But whatever, we're good.
Yeah, yesterday they said that the heat index was 106. It got to me. I was so dehydrated. Today was a little bit better, but we're busy. We're working again. Um, we had like over a month of rain here.
Mhm.
We're contractors, so it threw us for a loop, and now all of a sudden the rain has dried up, and wow, there's so much water on the ground that when the heat came out here, the humidity was like pungent. It was like, oh.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It really has. But it's nothing for us. We're fine. I'm fine. It doesn't affect me one bit. It makes me stronger. I'm not afraid of a little bit of heat. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we've got some interesting topics tonight. We've got the eclipse, the devil horn rising over New York. Tomorrow morning, eclipse to talk about. We've got, it looks like the corona, or I said the bad word, the cerveza bug is coming back. Looks like China is going to lock back down. What other topics do we have tonight?
Bezos, and
How could I forget?
yeah, even a little bit of an update to that. Right before we were going live, I checked the Drudge, and it looks like there's a space race going on, and Bezos might not be the first billionaire to fly off to space. So
Yeah, well, they're going to CGI it, you mean. The first one to fake it
yeah,
with
so we're gonna go
public.
through. We're going to go through Blue Origin a little bit. It's Elon Musk that gets the majority of the press time with his SpaceX.
Mhm.
And so often, like, we hear nothing about Blue Origin. We've heard of it, we know it exists, but it doesn't get the mainstream attention that SpaceX does. So we took the time once it was announced that Bezos was going to be taking space tourists, always air quotes, right? Um, did a little looking into it, and when we looked at the footage, like, it's like, wow, crazy. And once again, I really feel like we need to highlight apocalypse now, apocalypse now, because the great revealing, this great, um it's an apocalypse.
Mm.
That's an apocalypse is revelation. It's coming into fresh new understanding that's
Mhm.
correct. And so tonight we're going to be going through a bunch of stuff. When we look at this Red Devil solar horns thing that's going to be taking place tomorrow morning, we're going to be looking at some graphics that are being prepared by the heliocentrists, and we're going to count how many massive heliocentric debunks we can get in just this little animation of what's taking place tomorrow. So right,
Mm.
it's going to be loaded, it's going to be ripe, and we only looked at it for a few minutes before we went live. It's a new live stream that has a graphic in it, and when you look at it in context, it's part of the apocalypse now. So I really feel like the audience that we have here, that when they see it, they're going to be able to conceptualize, they're going to be able to understand how this is impossible in heliocentrism. But at the same time, I think if they were to take one of their friends or family members, somebody that they cared about, and put them down in front of this same information as they went through it, it seems like this information is just going to be beyond their comprehension. It's going to go right over their heads, and they're not going to be able to extract from it the importance, the significance of the information. So our audience, I'm super highly confident that just a few glimpses of this, and it's going to be obvious to them, and then others are, I know it's just going to go right over them. So we're coming into a crazy time period in this apocalypse where people are going to be sort of
Hmm.
herded into the gate that's appropriate for them.
Yeah.
And
Hmm. I get what you're saying. So the revealing, right? The revealing of the truth. That's what the third dispensation that we talk about all the time is actually about. The apocrypha being revealed, the the understanding of what was now coming back into clear picture, the understanding of who we are. This is all taking place. These types of shifts, these things are actually happening, and people are making choices. They're making decisions. Everything's being weighed. Um, and the apocalypse is the revealing of the truth, and which was told, it was foretold in the scriptures that it would happen. And we're in that time where knowledge is being given at a great pace. You can learn anything you want now just by logging online. You can do it for free from certain places that have Wi-Fi. You don't even need to have internet at your house. You can just go somewhere and you can learn anything. So we are in an apocalypse time. We are in the revealing of the truth. And, I'm just so thankful that there's a group of people here, and there's a group of people on Facebook that fight for the truth. And we don't talk about it a lot, but there's the echo chambers that are created inside of these groups. It's like, we know that you basically have to literally click on Awake Souls. So they don't promote our channel. They haven't for a long time. We were just talking about this earlier, Jason and I. And we think that, there's probably a good reason that our content was held back from people. We don't fight against it. We think it was for a purpose. And the testament that Jason and I never cared whether it was one person or 5,000 that tuned in tonight. Each and every one of you guys on the other side of the screen, including the lurkers, we love you guys too. You're all a part of our team, and we want to share the apocalypse with y'all. We want to go through the truth. The thing that I really wanted to bring up is that it's like, it's dead now. YouTube has now become an a place where I'm now creating music. I'm doing things more with music now than I am with truth, and I guess Jason and I might be like two of the last Mohicans that are still out here speaking truth, fighting against the algorithms. I'm sure there's many more channels, but I'd like you guys, people who are watching this, leave a comment. Let me know who you think is still out on YouTube making good content, talking about the truth, trying to steer people in correct ways, trying to, be the example of steady and truthfulness. We've tried as hard. We were talking about it today at work. And I said to Jason, I could imagine this certain type of trade. They do this every day. I bet you they would come in and they would do it so fast, right? And what I said to Jason was, kind of like the way me and you podcast, because we do it so much. And he's like, well, it is Wednesday. I'm like, I look up to Adam, and there was basically nothing that I could say. The most enjoyable thing that we do, that we've done since me and Jason have met, we're going to continue to do it always, is to share truth. Like, I don't think there's a higher level besides intimacy and romance outside of that, because Yahweh hath created the two to be one. Outside of that, the highest level of truth, the highest level of anything in this world is the truth. And I'm just thankful that I have such a great group with all you in the chat, especially the moderator, Yahweh's daughter, for always being here and fighting for us, and just to do this stuff with you, brother. Like, who is left? Where do you find your truth content now?
oh man, it's so anemic. So over the course of 4 years fighting for the most difficult truths in the world, I've accumulated a list of subscriptions that seem to be the #1 disseminators of disinformation. And so by being subscribed to them, I've been able to feel like I've had the pulse of where the PSYOPs are going. And so my subscription feed has just gone absolutely dark. Now the problem is that I was watching the biggest, most promoted, most recognized channels that are promoting the agenda that it's currently going on right now. And if they're all dark, that means that it's smaller subordinate channels to these that must be carrying the load right now, that I haven't like descended enough down the totem pole to be getting content, right? So all the top people right now have just gone silent. There's not content coming from them, just the occasional video, and not significant things. So this week, like you said, we were talking about, are we going to go live tonight? And we didn't really have a ton of things to talk about because our subscription feeds are dead. The narrative is just not being pushed through these outlets right now. And we did have a number of things that we came across that we can talk about that are being pushed through the mainstream right now, and we'll take a look at those things tonight. But yeah, really the keyed in individual quasi independent media outlets that are supposed to be at the top of the truth game, nothing. It's just crickets. There's nothing to go through. There's nothing to rebuke. There's nothing.
Yeah, they're really, when the waves of unmonetization took place, a lot of people dropped out real fast. And then with the censorship, if you were saying anything too truthful, they took you out fast. And we learned by the way that they give us strikes what words we're allowed to say and not. And we do the live streams on Facebook and DLive where we take the gloves off and we go all out. And the last time we did that, I uploaded just the first half of that hangout to YouTube, and I instantly got a strike on that backup channel right away. Video down, community guidelines. This video's gone. So, just to show that you guys should be checking all that out too. But yeah, I'm really thankful that we're still on here. And what are we going to do? We're going to share the truth. We want to know everything about all truth, not just some. So yeah, there's the debunking of the heliocentric model tonight with the eclipse tomorrow for people in the northern part of the country. I just, I got to be lastly honest, I just can't wait to get through this tomorrow. Let this eclipse go by and people can get back to normal. I just see that certain individuals can be just like Steve Fletcher. Sorry to drop names, but I do like to drop names. I'm not someone who wants to just pussyfoot around. I'll tell you the name. Like, they're just going crazy over this, saying that like they're moving dates around. People are just God in a Minute channel did some crazy video where he was trying to explain heliocentrism for some reason. It's when this type of thing happens, just people, their minds just kind of go a little bit frazzly, and mine does too. But I do meditation and prayer, and try sweating working in 106 degrees. You tend to let go of all the reservations. But so again, we're going to be going through this different content tonight. I don't know who wants to screen share first. I don't have much. I just have the Cerveza returning in China, right? That's pretty much all I have planned.
So maybe I could go first and go through. I'll do the screen share for the Bezos, and we've got some Virgin Galactic that's breaking right now too. And then I'll go through the Red Devil Eclipse, and then you can we don't wrap her up.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be 2 hours. We might not always go 2 hours, but people do like the end song, so I'll try to have a prepared end song because I do like people to like the music. So I guess I'm gonna, if you'll give us 10 seconds, and then I'll bring you on. I'll bring you on. And thank you everybody for showing up. People to like the music. So I guess I'm gonna, if you'll give us 10 seconds, and then I'll bring you on. I'll bring you on. And thank you everybody for showing up. People to like the music. So I guess I'm gonna, if you'll give us 10 seconds, and then I'll bring you on. Sorry about that, everybody. We had a bit of a miscommunication there. You got it now, right?
Yeah, you know what was strange?
What?
Is that all of a sudden when I went to screen share, it turned the audio on for the Hangout.
Really?
Yeah, so when I finally figured it out,
yeah,
it was the audio, it was a feedback loop off of our live stream.
That's okay. That happens every now and then. You owe me $10. I'll be collecting that in the kingdom, so. But you are presented, your full screen, everything is showing up. Let me make sure. Yep, it should be good.
All right. So we'll go through Bezos first.
Bezos.
Let me get that camera out of the way here.
I really don't like this guy. I don't like the way they present him with his bald head. Not that I have anything against men with bald head. That's fine. That's just the way that it is. I don't discriminate, but the way they put the rocket beside him in the shot, it's gross. Makes me feel sick. And it doesn't surprise me that this is the month that they're promoting all this nonsense, right? Go figure.
Yeah, so we'll do a little bit of a live search here. And so this headline, it came out a couple days ago and it seemed to fade quick, but they're not letting this go. We'll go over to Drudge and see that now all of a sudden it's going to be a space race that we're looking at. But 2 days ago seems to be when Bezos was really being propped up. He's going to space. They said in July, but there wasn't a date attached to it. Well, now we actually have a date attached to it as well. So we're picking up these little tidbits. We turn around, we pass them back to you for your contemplation.
But we're not saying that we think this is real. I want to put that out there, the disclaimer right now. I don't think it's real at all. I think it's a PSYOP. It's fake.
Yeah, so this right here, like we said in the sort of intro, the Blue Origin, how often do you hear about this in comparison to SpaceX?
Yeah, nowhere near as much, but I've heard of Blue Origin for a long time myself. But I purposely search for these types of businesses, right? I even showed there was another guy that had a space race as well, which failed, right? Yeah, Virgin Galactic,
which is the headline right now. So
Richard Branson.
I'll show everybody. On Drudge, left-hand column, we've got, look at this space helmet that Branson has on for this photograph here. Do you think that's a space suit that he's wearing?
It was kind of truncated.
You think that's his space helmet?
Let me go. No, I think it's ridiculous. Stupid. Makes me angry.
And so I found this interesting, and I clicked on the first link to see what they were saying about this. Branson racing to beat Bezos to space. And it takes you to this Sun article. So here's our space race between these two guys. And we'll be going through all this. Look at his spacesuit. Does this look like this will protect you from the vacuum of space?
Has anyone ever seen the video of what happens? The vacuum of space, right? It like everything just explodes. You just swell out. It's like they made it in Total Recall. Like that's what happens on Mars. Really, they were trying to tell you that like if you remove atmosphere, you die, right? But it's okay.
Does anybody remember the so-called spacesuits that they used to wear? The ones that were white and big and puffy, and that was supposed to handle the vacuum of space?
Yes.
Well, here's Branson in his blue jumpsuit, and here he is in his gold jumpsuit with his helmet. All right, and they got the stars.
All fake. It's all CGI. That's Photoshop.
The stars in the background here.
It's such a bad Photoshop too. It's so retarded. They couldn't do better than that. Like, come on. The helmet doesn't even look like it's in the picture. It's way too big. His head's way too small. It's all black around him. It's really, really bad Photoshop. Really bad. Poorly done.
So I clicked on the first link here, Branson racing to beat Bezos to space. Now, July 4th launch. I want to see the details on the launch. Guess what? Same exact link. So we weren't told before when Bezos was supposed to be going to space, but that is now July 20th, we're hearing. On the Blue Origin, we're going to be going through that. And so here it says Virgin Galactic. Excuse me, I gotta.
Yeah, have a drink. We're just getting into this article. We don't have too many articles, but this one's interesting. Same with the CGI.
Yeah, so Virgin Galactic is working on a plan to send Branson on a suborbital flight. below orbit, but in space, they're saying, over the July 4th holiday weekend. July 4th. So if that is true, Branson would beat Bezos to space by 16 days. Ooh, in your face, Bezos, right? In your face. So the first two links are the same article. Do you have any apprehension that this is supposed to be like really big, important news to everybody? Bezos and Branson in a space race. They've dedicated 2 links to it with this incredible artwork. And then mega rich laughing from escape pods. I clicked on this just to see what they're talking about. And this should fit in well tonight. Jeff Bezos and the mega rich are laughing at us from their escape pods.
No, no, we're laughing at you, Jeff Bezos. You're an absolute joke. What an article. I can't even believe you pulled that up right now, to be honest with you. Wow.
Isn't that crazy? But check out where this is going. So the escape pods seems to have to do directly with tax evasion.
Oh, okay. Now you're making some more sense.
It says if America were a group dinner, the uber wealthy would be the ones ordering several of the most expensive items on the menu and then skipping out without paying the tab.
I believe it.
When ProPublica released a report on the raw tax data it obtained from the 25 richest Americans, its analysis of the never before seen data confirmed what many people had already inferred. Rich people's tax burden isn't nearly what low and middle income people's tax burden is. So what this first paragraph is saying here is that if you are low or middle income, how much taxes do you end up paying in a year? Maybe like 2, 3, 4, 5,000 on the low end, and 10, 20, 30,000 on the middle income people. Right. So they're saying that these 25 richest Americans aren't even paying what the low and middle income people are paying. So Elon Musk didn't even pay income tax in 2018. No tax. Millionaire, billionaire, no tax. Mike Bloomberg, Jeff Bezos, the Waltons, Carl Icahn, Warren Buffett all tossed the government a few bucks. So they might have wrote a check for like $300 or $333, right? That's probably what they would do, but didn't pay nearly what middle income Americans paid. So my statement earlier is correct.
It was probably 33,333. Let's be serious here. They're not that cheap.
Meanwhile, as multi-billionaires' businesses were bailed out and propped up by the government and their own personal wealth grew, ordinary Americans paid about as much in annual taxes as they experienced in wealth appreciation. So this is talking about how they're falling behind. And this is as far as I can go with this article. So this is what the Drudge has to say right now, today, about the space race. And I really think all this stuff is part of Apocalypse Now. This information is being revealed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The occasional cough.
I had you. It's fine. No, I completely agree. They're letting everybody know that it's fake. You can just tell. And we're going to be getting into it. I believe the next tab, if I'm not correct, is going to be the video footage that we're going to inspect with the so-called Bezos rocket, right? We already know that rockets don't exist like the way they tell us they do. It's a big PSYOP, right? They mix balloons and lasers and just all kinds of CGI, right?
So it's interesting that 2 of our 3 topics are on the cover of Drudge right now.
Wow.
So the Branson.
Go figure.
Bezos,
if we were searchable, we'd probably have like hundreds of thousands of views, right? Not that I care. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
And then tomorrow morning, the Ring of Fire to Blaze Sky, right?
Yeah, the devil horns. They've got it upside down here. on this graphic. Well, depending on where that picture's taken. We got to get through this. This eclipse needs to take place. Go. We're still waiting on Pentecost as well. That's the Holy Spirit being given. That could happen at any time. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we can tell you right now that this is an eclipse set. Right? It's not a rise, it's a set. And you should be able to figure that out as we go through this information. So we are going to jump to Blue Origin.
Here we go. Get your seatbelts on.
This is the NS-14 launch, rocket and capsule landing. This was done January 14th, 2021. That is this current year. And believe it or not, only 420,000 views on this. So once again, Blue Origin does not get the hype that SpaceX does. They would have millions of views on something like this. But we're going to show you what this looks like, because a lot of people may have never seen it. And
oh, this is funny.
Should I go full screen on this?
Let's see. Go full screen and then I'll adjust it if it needs adjusting. No, that's perfect.
All right. So we'll go through this. I'll show you a little bit of the setup, then we'll go to the launch. And then during this launch, we are going to have some fun. Check this out.
All right, everybody, welcome back for New Shepard's 14th mission to space. You see the gantry retracting there. We are getting ready for a launch, Patrick. This is when it gets really exciting.
Anakin Skywalker.
Right. We have thrown the show over to the rocket. She's
Here we
in
go.
Autonomous mode right now. We're waiting to see the final
Autonomous
hydraulic
mode.
system checks and engine gimbal check.
Gimbal. She's flat. I guess that's where they pump the helium in, or hydrogen, or
Helium.
There you go. You see the aft fins.
Aft fins are twisting.
Making sure they've got full clearance there. There are 4 fins on the base
Dilating.
of that rocket. You want to check these aerodynamic surfaces and systems before flight. This
Check.
is just exactly what a pilot
All
does on an
fins
aircraft.
nominal.
firing position. Check.
Well, we're going to find out how important
Waiting
those
here
fins
for
are
the engine
on
gimbal
its
check.
rise.
You see the nozzle there
as it's
peeking
going
out.
up.
There it goes.
Engine gimbal nominal.
The engine is also obviously to propel the rocket, but is critical in guiding the rocket on
Guidance
its ascent, but
distance
as
nominal.
well as on its descent as it comes into land.
Oh no!
What'd you do?
Wanted to pause it, but I hit the.
Oh, we're getting close,
Alright,
folks.
so
Get ready.
It goes.
Here it goes.
So if you're able to follow along here, they're moving around the gimbal of this nozzle. Now, I really ask you to pay attention to all the sizes. All right, so this nozzle right here, I want you to start trying to come up with an estimation of how big it is. Like these hoses, all right, are these 2-inch hoses? Are these 3-inch hoses? Or are these 30-inch hoses? Like, look around at things, the nuts and bolts.
Or is it like 10 feet wide by 10? Like, is it a model, a scaled down model?
Yeah, so if you look at the size of these hoses, the size of these bolts, and the structure here, and then look at the size of the nozzle, we're going to be looking at this over and over. I just want people to start paying attention to it.
The engine is also obviously to propel the rocket, but is critical in guiding the rocket on its ascent, but as well as on its descent as it comes into land on the northern landing pad just 2 miles north of where the rocket is taken off from.
Due to the spin of the Earth.
All right, and that takes us to launch. Lieutenant Troll, here we go, New
She
Shepard.
glitched
Have a
out.
great flight, Mannequin Skywalker. Enjoy that shiny new capsule, and we'll see you back home soon at launch site 1.
Anakin Skywalker and the shiny new capsule.
Mm-hmm. Let's watch.
T-minus 16, guidance internal.
There's someone on that tower
T-minus 10,
to the left.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start.
Ignition.
2, 1. Ignition.
lighter upside down taking off, right? Look at this shot. Wow.
Oh, yeah, look at her go. Mission
Look at her
Control has
go.
confirmed New Shepard has cleared the tower.
I don't know
on
how
her
you
way
could call it a feminine name. That's just so retarded. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother. So this is the most important part of the whole thing to take apart and dissect. Take a look at this thing. All right. This is supposed to be a rocket going to outer space.
Look at how small. Look at how small the rocket skirt is compared to the size of the rocket it's supposedly propelling. Again, if you take a lighter, you flip it upside down and you flick it, does the lighter fly into the air? Would there ever be an opportunity for someone with a lighter that could make it fly? I'd like to know, because this thing here has less of a engine burst than a lighter would upside down.
And now, obviously, it was designed to be a phallic symbol, right? And then having one thruster, this little thing that we were starting to pay attention to just a few seconds ago, this is a joke. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go back and we're going to look at this footage much slower.
Well, I would suggest that they do a combination of CGI. That's CGI. They do CGI. They do balloons. So they fill things up with helium and stuff, and then as it floats up, they make it look like it's a rocket. They add in stuff. This is how they've been faking everything, right? Just so people know.
All right, so we'll go half speed on this right now and take a closer look at this. Here's the launch.
It's hilarious. This next shot is the best one, everybody. I want you all to conceptualize where you would have to be to catch this shot as a cameraman, right?
As the cameraman, where is the camera in this shot?
And the panning that the camera takes place. And we want you to look really, really closely at the top of the rocket.
Yeah, so I'm going to start highlighting the top of the rocket here, and I'm going to start doing frame by frame. And I want you to pay close attention. We're going to take a deep look at this thing on its way up. You may have caught it the first time around. If not, you'll catch it now. So here we're going frame by frame. All right, it's not always advancing with every click, but here it's going. Whoa.
Yeah, I've got it zoomed in too. Everyone can see that clearly.
All right, so what I saw happen between this frame and the frame before it is that this entire, their dome, their capsule, whatever they call it, it split in two. And this side towards us has folded towards us, and the other side has folded away from us, and that there is separation on this. You can see where the windows are, window, 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 and you can see this line right here. So it just opened up. I'm going to go back a frame. Do you see right now how it's just a dome? All right, and then I'm going to go forward a frame. You see how it's split open right there. Well, I'm going to keep going frame by frame here. And we'll also notice at the same time when this split open, now in this frame, we have a black snake-like thing going down the side here, where it goes right here, then it's right here, and then it's right here. And so the frame before did not have that. All right, you see that? Actually, did it give us an extra frame? There is a, this one, it's starting to break.
Open. Yeah.
It's starting to break open.
That's interesting.
And then there's this black streak wrapping around right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the next one.
There, it's starting to split there.
Yeah, so it's split, and then you can see the black snake-like thing wrapping down like this. Still open. Still open, but watch the snake. The snake moves. Snake is here.
Now it's going to start to come out there. Boom.
The snake comes out of the top.
Yes.
And here is part of it, and it comes around to here. All right.
What kind of retarded CGI is this?
And so now it's right here and coming out from behind it over here, like the tail. All right.
Yeah, a snake's climbing inside of it.
Now
it's closing.
Look at the dome. It's starting to close again, and the snake tail is over here. It's closing. Next frame, it's almost closed. This is like that very first frame where you see like a solid dome, and then you see this sort of cutout thing. It's the windows are disrupted here, and it still has the snake on it. Still has the snake. It's not fully healed yet. It's got the snake. It's not fully healed yet.
Oh. Okay. Now it's back to pretty much normal.
There. So
it's such bad CGI. Look at the mountains. Look at the range in the background. It's so bad.
All off of this one little thruster.
Yeah, which is another impossibility.
Why we were contemplating this? Why does the capsule split open on takeoff? And the best answer we could come up with is that it's a convertible. So the most exciting part of the takeoff, the cabin splits open so that the
boom,
people inside can get the rush of the air.
Whoa! Looking up at the sky, like rocketing up into outer space, right?
Yeah. And then as it gets higher, they're going to need their oxygen. So the capsule closes back up again.
It's like a dome. It splits open like the Toronto Sky Dome or whatever, right? It's the same kind of thing.
So we'll go back here. We'll watch this and let's just watch the whole thing through in this half speed. Then we'll watch it at regular speed. So here's the half speed. Look at that view from the camera. There it split open and it closed. Oh yeah.
Faking it. She was faking it. Sorry.
And now we'll go through this in regular speed and keep going.
Is there even a point? But we'll go through it. Open.
Oh, yeah.
Closed.
Look at her go. Mission Control has confirmed New Shepard has cleared the tower on her way to space from Launch Site 1 in the West Texas desert. Mannequin Skywalker on board.
In Texas, too, huh?
Right about now, the fins on the aft portion of the vehicle are going to help the vehicle do its roll maneuver. The booster is going to be rolling at about 2 to 3 degrees per second, which equates to a full
2 to 3 degrees per second is what she said. Fins are going to be rotating 2 to 3 degrees per second, which is going to equivalent to, listen,
rotation of the vehicle every 2 to 3 minutes.
Full rotation of the vehicle every 2 to 3 minutes. So those fins that we were watching adjust earlier, that is to make this spiral so that the people that are in the capsule get this 360 view. 2 to 3 minutes. It's going to rotate around. All right, that's crazy.
This, of course, is to give the astronauts a 360-degree view during the flight.
Of course.
All right, coming up here on Max Q.
It's like the revolving restaurant.
Maximum dynamic
right?
pressure on the rocket is the toughest part of the toughest portion of the flight for the rocket.
Here we go.
And we've
Get ready,
confirmed
people.
Max Q. Excellent.
It's going to fall back to the Earth, but it's going to somehow manage to land. Right? Going against all other known things that we've ever seen with propulsion.
Well, here's another thing to pay attention to. They're now claiming this is at 37,429 feet, which is the typical cruising height of many commercial airliners, right? It's It's right in that range, 35,000. Some may go up to 40,000. But so now they're using their camera here to zoom in on this. And I want you to notice that they never lose view of it, including the top portion. Right? And look at the numbers that they're going to talk about being able to attain.
All right, you can see on the top right side of your screen, that's where you can follow along as we're gaining speed as she climbs up towards space. In the bottom left corner is the altimeter, noted in feet above ground level, although you may have noticed upon at liftoff we were sitting at 3,700 feet above mean sea level. That's the altitude of our West Texas launch site. Now, Mannequin Skywalker in there, starting to feel those G's, around 3.5 G's on the way up to space.
Ooh, Mannequin
It's
Skywalker
very similar to a roller
3.5.
coaster, but in that horizontal position of the seats,
120,000
definitely is a
feet.
much more comfortable
and
ride.
Still nice in the frame. Nice shot, the camera guy. He's not having any trouble.
No, he's not going to lose it ever, even during separation. So you can see we got our progress bar. We're coming up on Miko.
All right, now approaching
That's when
main engine cutoff
they're
for
shutting
Miko.
off
So
the
we're going to
engines.
shut off the BE3 engine.
So notice she said the BE3 engine. We're going to be looking at these engines. Take a closer look at these engines because the size of that nozzle, we're going to see a problem. So they're shutting off the engines at 190,000 feet. And then we're looking at separation and then apogee coming up.
Miko is confirmed.
No more light, no more burner.
Now you'll notice that the booster and the capsule are continuing as their combined ascent to space. As you watch the altitude continue to, speed is dropping, of course, as it no longer has
hear
the
that
propulsion
noise?
from the BE3 engine.
Yeah, I heard it.
That was separation. So now we have two dots. We're supposed to be seeing the booster and the capsule with these two dots right here. Separation, right? We're past separation.
Separation of the two craft is confirmed. You can start to see the two craft in the screen.
Wow.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live for New
They're now at
Shepard's
300,000
14th mission
feet.
to space. The maiden launch for
And
this
climbing.
rocket. So
And
far,
climbing.
everything appears to be nominal.
Nominal.
The two craft have separated. Right about now is when, if you were an astronaut in there, that's when you'd be able to float around, gaze out of those huge, gorgeous windows,
Gorgeous windows.
maybe even do a somersault or two.
Look, they
I know
can
I
see
would
both
certainly
the
do that.
capsule and the booster. Without the
shining like
without the
stars.
flame, the
Wow.
And as we've
engines.
noted in previous flights, if you follow along on the speed on
Wow.
the top right corner, as soon as that speed hits 0, that's when you know that the rocket
Lost it. He
and
lost
the
it. He's
capsule
got it
have
back. There
hit
it
its
is.
apogee point, the highest
get it.
point
Oh,
in the flight
there it
of
is.
the rocket.
He lost it. Got it.
You know what he needs? He needs Astromut's tracking
Yes.
software.
Of course. He wouldn't have any of these jitters. These guys are so amateur. Get out there, Astromut. Fix it. What a joke. They probably wouldn't shell
It's
out the
hit
money.
0, and now they are heading back home.
Coming
We
back.
should have an unofficial apogee altitude coming up here shortly.
It's going to fall straight back
Unofficial.
down. Unofficial. We're almost at
But we've
350,000.
gone well
Oh,
over
now it's going down.
100 kilometers.
Going down.
The Kármán line, the official line of space, and there
Kármán
it is,
line.
350,827 feet.
So they just fall. They get farther apart, right? Farther apart. And, oh, we passed wedge fins deploy. Let's get back to wedge fins.
Yeah, you don't want to miss a wedge fin deploys. It was nominal.
Here comes wedge fin deployment.
Upon which it can use its aerodynamic surfaces to push, and that will help guide the rocket back to its landing pad, again, 2 miles north of where it's taken off from.
Wow. Without an
We have
engine pushing
confirmation
it.
that the wedge fins have been deployed.
Wedge fins have been deployed.
Phenomenal.
All right, so drag brake deploy, booster restart, and then booster touchdown. Like, look at it's coming back into view. You're starting to see.
So we're looking now for the drag brakes to deploy. As soon as those deploy, you'll see the speed come down very rapidly. You're starting to see that in the top right corner there.
Drag brakes.
And then in quick succession, we're going to get the BE3 engine to restart. The landing gear will deploy, and then the booster will come in for a nice soft touchdown. There are the drag brakes.
Drag brakes.
Nominal. Fire. Booster touchdown. It's about to go.
Almost.
Oh, boom. We heard it before we saw it, though.
Oh.
Should have been the other way around, right?
Engine restart.
Look at this thing.
Landing gear deployed. And touchdown. Welcome back, New Shepard.
Woo! Woo! Horrible CGI.
You can hear our team back here at headquarters enjoying this moment.
Look at that.
Wow. Where we go on?
Oh, you can hear our team.
Yeah, so she's going to go on to talk about how it's autonomous, how it, you saw how it had to re-steer so it would fly back and land within the landing zone, right?
Wow.
That's the reason why it tipped and moved over like that, because
Crazy.
autonomously.
It's so
here's
crazy.
The drag brakes up here.
How bad the quality of CGI was there. I don't know how anybody with a brain can look at that and think that was real. I really don't.
Yeah, I really hope they don't. So let's do a little bit of critical analysis of this. You get an idea of what it looks like inside the cabin here. Here's a person standing inside the capsule. They have this podium here, and then the chairs going around the outside. Now, you can sort of get an idea from the inside here about like the thickness of the windows and the walls. Right? They're not super excessively big. Now, when you start looking at pictures like this, you can get to see the size of the capsule in comparison to Bezos is small. He's a little guy. But still, he's like almost as tall as this thing.
And then what, do they fall down upside down? Where do the parachutes deploy out of the top of that?
Yeah, and where's the floor system in this?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the oxygen tanks? Where's the electric? Where's the generator that's making power for this thing?
It's so ridiculous. This whole PSYOP it's really, really bad. That's why they don't cover it, because it's too easy to see through. I don't know.
Look at this Blue Origin shot, like
wow.
And then these looks that you get out of Bezos are just
gross.
So bad. So bad.
We got through most of it. I don't know how far you want to go in.
Well, I just wanted to
debunked. The thing came open. It came open, man. There was a snake coming out of it. How much more do we have? It? You want to go into the actual force that you want to break down the mass and how much force it would take to lift it, and then try to see if we can measure the size of the flame that's coming out of it.
I want people to take a look at this picture here. Oh, that's not what I wanted. No. I want to save it. I want to open it.
It's so bad. It kind of frustrates me that we live in a world where they do this kind of stuff to prop up like that you're going to go to outer space or something. You were made from stardust. Just all this stuff is just so gross.
Yeah, so there's a number of things to be gleaned from this image. I mean, Bezos is a small person, and look at the size of this capsule.
Mm-hmm.
All right, if the blue line is the floor system in this thing, come on, that's itty bitty. But now take a look at this, the nozzle of this so-called rocket engine, and in comparison wise, do you think the diameter, if you were to put a tape measure around this nozzle, that it would be like even the same as like his chest? Like, is it 40 inches around this right here?
Yeah, that's tiny.
It's really tiny. Really, really, really tiny.
Yeah, maybe
take a look at this
4 feet.
rocket here. And notice what they have here. They have these green pads under here. And the green pads have these incredible rods or cables here up to hooks. And so as this thing's sitting on this, it's literally these hooks that are holding on to the pads that are keeping this thing from sagging down. Without these pads under here on the posts of the legs, you can clearly see that this thing would just collapse. It's not structurally sound enough to even support itself off of these legs. It's these ties to the green pads that are holding it up. That's what's holding it up. And you can look at their whole site as far as the towers that they have around. Where did they get that footage from that was able to pan as it was supposedly, you know, the CGI was taking off? So there's so many things. The engines themselves are, I thought I had a tab open for it. Blue Origin, rocket motor. Now take a look. They were calling it the BE3, but everything that shows up is the BE4. Take a look at the size of this thing. Right, here's a BE4. Do you realize that this nozzle here is way bigger?
Mm-hmm.
Way bigger than Bezos? All right, look at this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's...
They show this thing, and then if you look at what we were just looking at, it's this itty bitty little nozzle. And if you look back to the beginning of this clip here, it's this itty bitty little nozzle. Remember this? This is the thing that Bezos was standing in front of. And look at these hoses, look at these nuts and bolts, and look at the size of this. This is what Bezos was standing next to. There's nothing monstrous about this whatsoever. But here's what they show for the engines. Look at how big this nozzle is supposed to be.
It's not that big. It's not that big.
Yeah, but the nozzle that we were looking at, it's in the thumbnail.
Mm-hmm. It looks smaller by the parallax, right? Someone could argue parallax. It might be a... Yeah, I hear you. Even that shot looks fishy. All of this looks fishy. It's gross. Sorry. They're not doing this. It's not real.
It's not real. It's from the thumbnail right here. And this is a great one. Look at the guy that's over on the right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they took for the picture. He had to throw out the hands for this shot.
I got him covered. There you go. Sorry, I took the rectangle down.
Okay. Yeah, he's throwing the hands for the shot, for the picture. Now he's only a few feet away from the capsule right here, and the distance from his feet to the legs back here, we're talking maybe 25 feet. It's not a long distance. And this nozzle,
It's tiny.
it's really tiny. Really tiny. So
Yeah, good points actually that I didn't notice. It's good. It's good analysis. I see it. And if anyone thinks that that would be able to propel that rocket, you're absolutely out of your mind, right? Again, if you ever seen a lighter levitate upside down when you flick it and turn it on, no, right? Or maybe a barbecue lighter. Would that be better? Use that as a reference in your mind. So you just have to imagine how much force, and not only that, but the only way that rocket that right there would be stabilized is if it was traveling at a super high speed of velocity, which we don't see the evidence for in their stupid videos. Their CGI, it looks like a balloon was released. As well, it would have serious rifling. That's how a projectile object that's that shape is able to fly in reality. In this realm, we've done the math, we've done the research, we've seen the footage. I used to make rockets when I was a teenager and fire them off. And I can tell you, they didn't slowly levitate off the ground like this nonsense. This is absolutely garbage. And any shame on them.
so it's bad.
Poisoning children's minds so that they can believe in the Big Bang Theory and that they're absolutely nothing. They're worthless. They descended from apes, right? Monkeys or whatever. That's what this is. You're looking at it. You got a monkey on screen with all the phallic stuff. It's just so gross. Like, grow up, Jeff Bezos. Why don't they enrich people's minds with things that'll actually make them better human beings? Why do we have to bombard people with space nonsense? You're never going to space. No one's ever been to space. It's lights in the sky. It's not planets that you can go land on. It's just retarded. And now they're going to tell people that, oh, flat earthers, all you got to do is get in the Blue Origin and prove that it's flat. Like, obviously, they're going to just fake it all. They can't even do these types of things. They can't even show us a small scale, how it would just glide up into the air, just slowly rising as it reaches higher and higher speeds. That's not the way rockets work. Rockets work, they have their full propel right off the ground, everything in it. Boom, they light it off, it goes super fast, and then it loses speed as it rises into the sky. It doesn't gain speed as you go. That's not the way that it works.
So we'll move on to the next topic. And this right here is interesting. We're going to milk this thing out. So 11 hours, 57 minutes, 50 seconds. That right there is the amount of time between now and this eclipse. So tomorrow morning, this eclipse is going to begin. And so they have a graphic here where they have a globe Earth and they're tilting it back and forth. So what I want to do is bring it back to where it starts at. It starts right like this. And I want people to get oriented to this. I want to test people a little bit, see how spatially 3D spatially aware they are, and just ask the question, looking at this globe Earth here, which direction is the globe Earth tilted? Right? Where would the sun be in this shot? Where is this image? Where is the camera for this graphic in this shot right here? I want people to take a look at it, look at the lines that are on the Earth, look at the orientation of the land masses, and see if you can figure out in your mind right now, which way is Earth tilted and where would the sun be? So think about it, think about it, think about it. Go ahead, brother.
It's easy. If you imagine if you had a flashlight and you're pointing it at this fake ball Earth globe, where would you be holding the flashlight to create the portion that you see lit up and the portion that you see darkened? It's very easy to see the direction.
Yeah. So in this graphic, the lines of latitude, right, which is north and south, they're running, sort of left and right, right? They've got curvature to them right here, but to the horizon. So this right here represents the Earth being tilted toward the sun. Earth tilted towards the sun. So the camera and the sun are in the same position. It's tilted towards the camera in the shot, and this would be where the sun is in the heliocentric model, because during summer, right, they say that the 23.5-degree tilt is tilted towards the sun, and that's the way they have Earth represented right here. But if you look at this line right here, they're showing the terminator line like Ronnie was talking about, with a sun that would be up here. Sun
You're
would
off.
be up
You're off
here.
screen. You're off screen. Gotta go
Okay.
there, that direction.
The sun would be up here in order to be lighting up the sun, the Earth, with a terminator line like this. Now, there's a reason why they have the terminator line like this, because based on when the sun rises and the sun sets, this is the line. So right here, we have heliocentrism debunk number 1. Now, as we let this run, let me speed it up a little bit.
Or a lot.
What you're going to see is that they're going to move the camera angle on this, and they're going to raise it up so that you can see above the North Pole. You're going to get the top-down view, the AE map model coming up. All right, so now they have it tilting. So the Earth in the heliocentric model does not tilt this far. What they're doing is raising the camera in this shot to be able to show you the path over the North Pole that this eclipse is going to take.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So now you're starting to see these shadow lines form around here. And it won't be long, and all of a sudden a path is going to become highlighted. And we're going to see the path of the eclipse, and it goes over the North Pole. Now notice which way they're tilting Earth. They're tilting Earth towards the sun right now. The camera angle is coming up so that we can get this top-down view over the North Pole. Now they're starting to show in the yellow the type of eclipse that these areas are going to see. So this area is going to see it cut out like this area cut out like that, this area cut out like that. And here we go. So now in the red, we're going to see the path of the annular eclipse. This is where it stays. The moon is in the center of the sun through this path during this time period. Anybody starting to see a problem here? Which direction is this traveling, and where?
Well, first it sort of went east again. It's kind of going east, and then it switches back and starts to head west again over the North Pole.
Over the North Pole. This is going to track over the North Pole. And we're supposedly going to have an eclipse.
So the sun just all of a sudden started just going in a wholly other direction, right? So the anti-position, or the opposite position of the sun, would be where the shadow is. So what we're seeing is like a inline shot when all of a sudden the sun moves and it eclipses with the moon. So, but the path again would be the opposite direction. So the sun would be 180 degrees away from that shadow, correct? And the moon. And then the parallax of the two creates the shadow.
People that have paid attention understand that the moon only travels between like 19.5 degrees north latitude and 19.5 degrees south latitude. It travels between those latitudes. We also showed how the way this graphic was originally set up, we'll go back and look at it again. The Earth was tilted towards the sun, even though the terminator line was way super skewed. Let's look at this terminator line. If heliocentrism was correct, everything on this side would be lit up right now. This is where the Earth is supposed to be tilted towards the sun. They've got the sun up here, over here. No. This terminator line should be in line with the longitude lines, right? This whole side of the Earth should be lit up, but this is actually when sunrise and sunset occurs. So heliocentrism debunk. But this is all going down tomorrow, and the red devil horns. Let's see, red devil horns eclipse. All right, this is what the people in New York have to look forward to tomorrow morning. The people in Toronto have to look forward to tomorrow morning. So we just want to shout it out. We want people to pay attention. If you're in these zones and you have the ability to, please check it out, record it. We would love to share this. All right, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's always incredible to see the signs in the heavens, right? We know what they are. They're signs, right? We don't worship them. We don't allow it to dictate what we're going to do. We want to, do the Father's will and try to fix our mistakes and be better every day, right? These things happen. They are to be noted. It's basically like discerning the weather, right? So you see the sun out, yeah, it's going to be hot today. If it's cloudy and gray, you're like, oh, it's going to rain today. So when we see these types of signs, we know that there are things taking place on the supernatural and in the spiritual realm. And we are to always continue to stay in prayer in the Father's will, that his breath, his life, his truth guides us, not ours, not anyone else's. But yeah, hey, Seth, thanks for joining. And everyone else.
This path right here, all right, debunks heliocentrism. Mm-hmm. Outright debunks it badly.
Yeah.
This path right here outright debunks the fake Freemason New World Order AE map and model. Mm-hmm. What this is proof that, so tomorrow is a no moon day, no moon. Mm-hmm. And when it's a no moon like that, it can actually be a black body with the sun when the two line up.
Correct. It performs like a two-dimensional black body object. No more can you see the craters or whatever you want to call them. The texture of the moon is gone. It's just a black disk. And then due to the fact that the sun moves faster than the moon, right? They speed up and it goes past her. As she does her course, so does he. And the interesting thing to also discuss is they can be either or. You can have the moon eclipsed or the sun eclipsed. So they're constantly doing this back and forth, which is also a heliocentric Big Bang cosmology debunk.
And so we've always talked about how the eclipses are absolute proof of simulation. We made great effort to be at the Great American Eclipse, and it was well worth it. So eclipse shadows, if you've never seen these before,
yeah, they're amazing. We had so much fun. People were like trying to almost walk on the sheets that we had laid out. I saw a squirrel moment there. My ADD kicked in, but I don't have ADD. Yeah, no, once if you lay down a white sheet during an eclipse, this is what you're going to see. If there's anyone new here that have never seen the eclipse shadows, it's incredible. You can make a shadow of your hands, and up and down your fingers in between the spaces, you'll see the eclipse everywhere, like eclipse. It all of a sudden punches out in like an infinite number of eclipses. It's just wherever the shadow and the light move, it does the same thing that it's doing in the sky, but it just renders it everywhere. And again, this is why we say that, this is the type of thing that you would expect if we were living in some kind of supernatural simulation.
Yeah. So everybody understand that instead of being a shadow, what would be a shadow, right, is light, but it's being reflected all over off of everything. So off of the trees,
Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of holographic. And I know I don't like the holographic theory, Leonard Susskind and all these other guys. They just muck it up. Nobody actually comes to you with the proof like we're doing right here. This is how you show people the proof. They don't do that, the holographic principle, where they say everything's encoded onto everything. But this is an example, basically, of how everything is fractal. What's the word I'm thinking of? Fractal. Everything has a fractal nature. These are things that we would demand inside of in simulation. Now, you can go and do all this quantum mechanics and learn about all this other nonsense and atoms and electrons. But what we can actually do is we can see there's an absolute proof before us that the fact that, because light would just shine down light, right? And another fact is it actually shows how local these objects are. They're so close that they are able to continue to cast their shape in between branches of trees. In between your fingers, they're continuing to... the full eclipse is shown in the spaces that there is no tree, right? The way light works, you shine a flashlight, you put a filter on the flashlight, you shine it through the tree. It should never really do this. There's... I don't know how else to explain it, Jason.
It's proof of simulation. We've been sharing this for... was it 4 years? Something like that. Yeah, so that's tomorrow. Please pay attention. So you want to take this screen share, brother?
Yeah, I guess I had the one. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I had the one, just the one article I could share, I guess. Yeah, I could take it.
Okay.
It was fun. I enjoyed what we went through. It was good. It's pretty funny, everybody seeing the CGI, the snake that comes out of the stupid thing, the stupid rocket, the camera angle, all the fact that it opens up because, yeah, you want to have your hair blown, right? If you're paying all that money. It's so pathetic. But yeah, so the only thing I really wanted to highlight really quick, just because someone's got to talk about it. Why is this not working right? So I'll just do it this way. So it says here, China returns to its strict cerveza restrictions to fight a new outbreak. So again, what we're seeing here, a little over 9 hours ago, this is on the New York Times, so it's not a small article. They're basically saying that they're ramping things back up. They're locking back down. China appeared to get it under control, but millions and hundreds of millions of people they didn't do this thing. Y'all know what that says. Maybe I can zoom in on it. They didn't do that, so they're getting locked down. So maybe that's where the rollout of, if you don't get the Jabola, it looks like they're going to lock you down Ola. So yeah, they're still, peddling nonsense. If you want the real truth, you need to check out Dr. Stefan Lanka and all of his information with the Project Emmanuel. You have to check all of that out. They completely take care of everything that you need to know. So yeah, I just wanted to show people it looks like they're starting more propaganda. So everybody stay, prayed up and have faith that the correct path is going to be given no matter what. So I don't know, Jason, if you had too much more to say tonight. So big day tomorrow, right? And then what do we've got? We don't have too much coming on until we've got Ascension Day and Pentecost, right?
Yeah, Ascension Day, the 13th, Pentecost, the 16th.
So those are great days to be watching for, right?
Yeah, well, watching for. One of the things that we'll probably go over, maybe this Sunday night, we'll go into detail as far as what is our hope as Christians, because one of the things that we run into so much is all these rapture watchers. When's the next opportunity for a rapture? And that's not what we're talking about. That is not what we're talking about, nor is it what the Bible is talking about right now. It's talking about the Great Tribulation. And so one of the things that I think people have been psyoped into is a false interpretation of what the scriptures say is our hope as Christians. So
yeah,
what
great
we
topic.
want to do is go into detail as what is our hope, because rapture, they just say rapture, and then that's the end. They don't say anything else about that. But is spending the rest of eternity in heaven what the scriptures has laid out for us? And I think people might be surprised to find out that our future isn't to be in heaven and just hang out in heaven. That this world here is our home.
It's going to be transformed, right?
It's going to be transformed,
made new again, like Yahawahashai said he was. He makes all things new again, and that's what our hope is in a nutshell. Is that we're rescued, saved, delivered out of here into the place of righteousness, right? Whether it be out of here in the sense of the energy and this realm, everything about it, the sun, the moon, this is all going to be changed. The sky, the stars, it's all going to be a new sky and stars, but we're not actually going to leave here. This is ours. But anyways, I don't want to give away too much of that, Jason. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all those new things we've got coming up, and we'll be obviously keeping the pulse on what the mainstream propaganda is. The mainstream, again, just a quick note, is that, Trump's coming back. The recount in Arizona is almost complete, and he'll be back president in August, which is funny, but if it does happen, he could be the 6th king who became 8th again after the short time of the 7th. So we're watching for that too, right? And, just thank you everybody for tuning in. Please leave a comment if you have anything that you wanted to suggest or share, anyone in the future that's watching. And we'll be here all the time. Thanks, Jay. You got the last words.
The plan is to see you all tomorrow, Friday night. Go Team Yahawashai.
I was busy dreaming, building us a world, daydreaming up a good life that wouldn't hurt and wouldn't spoil. The sun never set there, the water clean and pure. In the beauty there was purpose, so certain, safe and sure. I could live this life forever, but from far, far away. I thought I heard you calling, you said I could not stay. And I woke up in a fever, my calculations were wrong. The pillars could not hold us, and the angels are gone. When hope makes you bleed, when life gets you down, there's all the love you need underground, to make a way for the dark hearts, to feel the love I found. There's all the love you need underground. We dream away, we dream away, we dream away, we dream away. Picture of a sunset above a turquoise tide, the beauty of a just world and the convenience of a lie. I tore down that picture, there is no other perfect life, but in the dirt under my fingers, maybe something will survive. When hope makes you bleed, when life gets you down, there's all the love you need underground, to make a way for the dark hearts, to feel the love I found. There's all the love you need underground. We dream away.